Hey, this is Jack from Alpha Charts with a state of the market video. Today is December 30th, 2023. Before we get started, this video is for informational purposes only. These are not recommendations to buy, sell, or hold any stock or security, and I may hold positions in some of the equities mentioned. Know your time frame and risk tolerance. All right. Thank you all for watching. Uh, quick note, last week I gave a free view of my subscriber group. All the things that would be subscriber only, I started with subscriber. Obviously makes sense. So if you're interested in that, go back through my profile on X and um, do at Alpha Charge 365 and look at all the subscriber posts. A lot of you have seen it already this week. If it's something that can help you with your trading, consider subscribing to the group. I mean, this is all the things that I posted all week long, plus more, much more. And I think it's going to help a lot of people. It's $10 a month, so it's super affordable for everybody, right? That's basically one person's fast food Chipotle meal, less than that a month, right? Anyway, the point is that if this can help you with your trading and you think that it's going to benefit you, consider becoming a subscriber. As of now, now it goes only to subscribers going forward. And like I said, it was able to give you guys an idea of what it is, what I do and what I'm about, without any risk at all. So check it out at Alpha Charts 365. Scroll through the profile, see all the things that start with subscribe and that I offer. And again, if it's going to help you, consider clicking the subscribe button and joining the group. All right, let's get into this particular video. We have the end of the year, the end of the month, the end of the week. This was a big day on Friday, and you see we closed right near, but haven't quite gotten to all-time highs. A lot of volume on Friday, surprisingly, but it is end of the year, so that may have something to do with that. It was a down day, and I think that that's significant, but I did hold the 10-day. So there's a lot of mixed messages as we ground up through the Santa Claus rally, and there's 2 more days left of it. But there was a few mixed messages in there with this day on Friday. I think the day under the surface was a little bit worse than what the candle shows. But again, that's just more of a feel than it is, listen, it held the 10-day, right? That's what we know. If it breaks the 10-day, then we should get more cautious, right? And if it breaks the 23-day, again, our caution level increases, right? And that's the way we have to do this. We talked about the widening pattern now for a week, since last week, and I think that is still in play. And just because we may need a pullback or a shakeout does not make us bearish. Maybe it just makes us cautious, and we could look for potential better entries into some of these names, right? That we want to own. So again, a pullback is not a bearish thing, even though it could be. Again, I've made the argument that this candle and this candle are very similar, and we'll see if what results from it, right? I'm not willing to make a guess at this point, especially with a brand new year. There's a lot of January positioning that's going to happen and take place. And I think, the first day, the first week, and the first month of January are all extremely important for the rest of the year of the market. Okay. So, but as of right now, listen, the market the whole week was up 0.37. Again, nothing, astronomical, but it was up. And looking at the RSP, which is the equal weighted SPX, again, we had a beautiful up week. We are above this area right here, this 155-ish area. As long as price stays above 155, it's hard to be bearish. You may say, okay, maybe we need a shakeout, or we may be a little cautious in here, but definitely hard to be bearish as long as it's above 155. And you can see all week long, it's kind of meandered and is riding this 9-day EMA that I have on here, this yellow line. See how it's riding it? It's beautiful. If it starts to break it, it would be a change of character, and that change of character could be potentially significant. Cues. again, that widening pattern right into all-time highs, right? You see this like rising wedge type pattern. And when we zoom into it, again, it held the 9-day, which is a positive. And we'll see what happens, again, the first week of January will tell us a lot of information. It's hard to say anything more than that, right? But I am getting a little bit more cautious because things were overdone into, all-time highs and so on and so forth. Um, we'll see if this changed anything, right? On the week, 0.25 up. Again, it was a positive week. Looking at the equal weights, you can see it was up 0.45. It did a little bit better. There is still some room to the upside, in my opinion, before some more significant supply comes in. Doesn't say it has to get here, but it definitely could get there, 4 or 5% higher. And yeah, I mean, as long as things are above, this $80 level, it's hard to be bearish in any of these markets. It looks really good. Let's look at mid caps. Where you at mid caps? There you are. Mid caps, the 500-ish level, that is my line in the sand. But of course, came back and held the 9-day. And on the weekly, it was actually down a little bit. Gives you a little information right there. Having a little hard trouble right as it's trying to break out. And looking at the IWM, which was leading the last couple of months, it's right there. You see how it kind of pulled back some. It was down 0.35 on the week, which is interesting. And when we go to the daily, it did hold the 9-day, which is now flat. But if this re-enters and falls below 200, and we're right there now, that would be a problem. That would be a problem, right? If it falls below 200. So we will see if this can hold here, 199, 200, this general area, or if it pulls back. Again, this potentially could be considered a false breakout if it does, and then we have to see where do the buyers step in, right? Again, it may even pull back to the 250, right? And still be in a generalized uptrend, right? Depending from here. That could be the next major higher low. So just because there is a pullback or a shakeout that may be in the cards does not, and that would be about 10%, right? That's about 10%. Doesn't make it a bearish market. It may make it a bearish time in the market, but that doesn't mean the market is bearish. Again, it depends on your time frame. All right, let's go out to the XLF, which was another good potential leader. And you can see XLF didn't even come down to touch the 9-day. That is relative strength, right? Every other index we've talked about so far was basically sitting on the 9-day, but not the XLF. I'm going to get rid of this because that's not necessary anymore. So I love that as long as it's above 37-ish. I think XLF looks really good. It's participating. Nothing wrong or bad to see there. SMH touched the 9-day, but in the end, everything is still holding up really well. Just a little sideways chop for now. And maybe it comes down and touches, 169. Okay. Well, that's fine, right? We're still in a bull market in that respect. Again, depends on your time frame, right? Maybe you're shorter term and you say, okay, that's something I don't want to deal with. Or, if you're longer term, you don't care because you're going to play against the 50-day. For me, it's just a little bit more cautious till we can see where buyers actually show up. Right now, it looks like the 9-day they're showing up. We'll see if that continues. So XSD is the equal weighted semiconductor index. And you see how it got here and pulled back, here, pulled back. Well, now we're in that same area, and you see there's been some distribution going on. Again, it's low volume, the time between Christmas and New Year's. I don't want to read too much into it. It's held a 9-day. That's what I know, right? It's held a 9-day. Could this be a false breakout? It's possible, right? And I'm watching for that. And that'd be pretty negative implications over the short term for the market until we can see where buyers show up again. Looking at ITB, this is home construction. Um, I'm gonna just change this to here, and I could still use about the same there, and it's still in this kind of triangle pennant type area, and you see volume still is nothing. We'll see which way this breaks in January, and that will be an extremely important um have extremely important implications in the market, this with the way that this pennant breaks. So it's an important chart that we're watching right there in ITB, and you see XHB will look exactly the same or close enough, right? Got a little pennant right there, little wedgie. It's a little wedgie type action. Again, I don't want to make any, couldn't really move higher here, came back, is retesting. We'll see. I'm not going to make a prediction on this yet. I want to see which way it breaks. Going into, where are you, transports? There we go. XTN. Um, Transports have broken the 9-day. That's the first time we've said that today. So again, they look a little bit weaker than maybe the rest of the charts, and that may be a slowing down, of movement of goods in the economy, right? That's why we watch transports. Something to definitely be aware of. And we've talked about this trend line from, the October 2021 highs, and it's been important. One, two, three, four. This is the fifth time this has been important. We have still consolidation here, but again, this one broke the 9-day. That's something to be aware of. And it really couldn't move higher. See all these wicks up here? Could not move higher. That's something to be aware of. So transports are showing some weakness. Housing is indecision, right? It's still consolidating, so it's indecision within the context of an uptrend. Um, we'll say, yeah, financials still look pretty good relative. So again, there's just some question marks that the market is giving us right now coming into the new year. That's it. Let's look at the internals. Here is the VIX, still extremely low, and we may just because it is low doesn't mean we have to snap back. We could be in a time like this where it kind of stayed low and the snapbacks were relatively shallow. But yes, they definitely did snap back to create some fear and shake out people in the market. Sorry. Looking at credit spreads, are they widening or um narrowing, right? And you see how we broke down. Now it kind of came back. Now I'm not going to read too much into this. This could just absolutely be a retest, and this could fall right back down. But if this does come back into this range, that would be a whoopsie. And from failed moves come fast moves in the opposite direction. So that is something that, again, I want to watch and make sure that this, what was support becomes resistance. And if it doesn't, I want to be aware of that as soon as I can, because things can move quickly at that point, right? Again, so that's part of my, hey, let's be a little cautious. When we look at percent of stocks above the 50-day, we are in the nosebleed area. This is where we have seen pullbacks happen in the past. Another reason for me to be more cautious. Again, we're within the context of an uptrend, so likely that whatever pullback, it will be a normal 5 to 10% pullback, and then the bull market will probably continue. That's the expectation. But I do know that we're probably right for that 5 to 10% pullback in the market from everything that we're seeing here. Let's look at the call ratio. It's right in the middle. When I put on the bars, we had this weird bar right here where things got pretty wacky back in on Wednesday, the 27th. So yeah, I usually like to look at what happens at the end of the day because there's a lot less noise involved in that. But again, this is something that I'm taking note of too, as maybe extreme bullishness, potentially. Again, when we go to the only end of day line chart, it doesn't really show up on that. But I look at both, a lot of times. And that was something that was interesting. Again, a little cautious. What else we have? We have the dollar. So here's the dollar. And we have, this 2022 big downtrend. We had in this choppy market. We had a beautiful uptrend here. It was good for the markets. And then, I'm sorry, bad for the markets, right? Uptrends are bad for the markets. And then, things started falling right beginning of November. We've had an amazing 2 months, and we're back into the support area, right? Back in, and there's your whoopsie, right? That's a whoopsie. Back in support area, and so far it is held. So if we see a rebound in the dollar DXY, um, good chance, very strong chance that it's going to be much harder to get traction in equities. And last 2 days, we've seen a rebound in the dollar. Is it super strong? No, but it's there. And it's right at an area of potential support. And so, again, a place that we need to be aware of. Another reason why I am cautious starting this new year. That's it. So, what does cautious mean? Cautious means that if things stop out or if I take profits, I'm going to keep it in cash and raise my cash level, a little bit. And and um and this way, if things start to turn south, my exposure is much less. That's what cautious means. That's it. It's not bearish. It's not, bullish. It's higher cash levels. Um, and let's look at TNX real fast, just to see what that did. Again, a little spike higher, nothing with nothing, has a little wedging action there, but again, I'm not too worried about it. The dollar is a bigger deal, I think. So just going back here on the SPY, let's go back to the SPY real fast, sum it all up. We're all, we have this volatility look to it. Especially after this day, that's when we kind of really price has a low volume grind higher. You time potentially just the time of year issues. Maybe it's more than that. We'll see. And again, I think it's time to be careful. So this is just a little bit of the analysis that I give to subscribers every single week throughout the week. If you think that more of this can help you, again, go back through Alpha Charts 365, scroll through my profile, look at the posts, click on the videos that I give only to subscribers, see if it's something that's good for you. And if it's good for you, click subscribe. It's $10 a month. It is. I mean, it's the best deal around. So, anyway, thank you all for watching. Hope you all have a great week this week. Take care. Happy New Year.